Welcome back to the Quiet on Set podcast powered by Cineman. I'm Ewan Graf, and as always, I'm joined by Lachlan Teely.
Hello, welcome back. Today's episode, we have a number of things. Let's get straight into it. Fall festival trailers ranging from Sam Mendes' Empire of Light all the way to Noah Baumbach's White Noise.
Then we're also taking a look at Disney's Pinocchio, Netflix's Slumberland with Jason Momoa, and A24's The Inspection. And I got some quick thoughts on a few new releases like Funny Pages, Samaritan, Beast, Me Time, and I Love My Dad.
And finally, today's episode's star child, not star child, but you know, superstar. Well, not really a star, but like a ranger. Anyway, today's topic is Lightyear.
So let's cue up the intro and get into the show. We are professionals.
This is a professional podcast.
Yes. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Hello there. Which actually,
Did you
this
get
is
me a
gonna
hat
be
as
bit,
well?
Yes.
So I've got Dooncam. It's just a camera with my Dune steelbook.
All right, welcome back, Lachlan, for the last time.
Fuck, I am so hungover. I'm sorry, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
I know I'm meant to be professional, but
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Had to push back the recording because I'm too tired. And I'm trying to save all my energy all day.
Yeah.
And here I am.
That's what saving all your energy looks like. He's just a husk of his being, just trying to perform for about an hour for you guys. So appreciate it. Hit that like button and subscribe. But I've also been up since early this morning because I'm about to head out to Venice for the film festival. Really excited. You gotta book your tickets at 7 a.m. in the morning, and usually it doesn't really work. So you get into a queue. It puts you there for like half an hour or whatever. You book your ticket, and then it kicks you out of the system and you got to go back into the queue. And by the end of this process, I don't know if I have any tickets. But I mean, for a few of the trailers that we're taking a look at from the fall film festivals, I did get tickets. But hopefully there will be some full coverage coming from that festival. But that also means, because I'll be very busy at that festival, we won't be doing new episodes of this show for the next 2 weeks, so we are on a bit of a break. Definitely check out the Ewan Graf YouTube channel. We'll link it here.
My suggestion was I just talk for an hour, which is just the Ewan Graf podcast, but with me instead. So
I mean, if it's the Quiet on Set version of me, then it would definitely just be an hour of talking.
Yep.
Lachlan, what do you say? Let's take a look at those trailers, actually.
Let's jump straight into it.
If you want to skip around to anything specific that interests you, specific trailer or whatever, Timecodes are, as always, linked below. And let's kick it off, not with the trailers, but first up, we got quick news, as always, the quick news from the quick news segment. And there's 3 news items in the quick news segment. First up, we got yet another delay from the Warner Bros. DC front, with Aquaman 2 and Shazam 2 being delayed into 2023. I don't know if we'll ever see them. There was also the announcement that Disney is working on a Disney Plus King Kong series produced by James Wan. And finally, House of the Dragon is already renewed for a season 2 after a staggering 20 million US streaming opening with the first episode alone. So that's, quick news. Any thoughts, Lachlan?
Must have been a good first episode then.
I really don't want Warner Bros. To pop into our news segment each week with some stupid new announcement, but at least there was also some talks about the new 10-year plan that Warner Discovery has for DC, and apparently Matt Reeves and the Batman is an integral part of that. He'll be producing a bunch of shows on HBO, at least that's the current status. So that's promising. I think the Batman is one of the better things that has come out of Warner Brothers and DC in the last couple of years.
Matt Reeves is just the Zack Snyder 2.0 that DC's gambling on. That's all it is. I feel bad for Matt Reeves. I mean, I don't. He's getting paid, so good for him. Matt
Reeves' cut of the Batman is just like a Baby Driver extended chase scene between Batman and the Penguin that you thought was already drawn out. That's what you'll be getting.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
I know, I'd pay to see a
You would,
cut.
yeah. I mean, you just thought the end of it was goofy, right? That when he's flipped and whatever, but the chase itself was really sick. But Lachlan, I think that's it with quick news, and let's head over to the trailers. And this week, we'll be looking at a whole bunch of trailers, and we'll break it down by first going over some of the trailers for films that are premiering at the fall festivals later this year, and then we'll take a look at some other trailers, just regular streaming movies. Boring, right? Not premiering at any festivals. But first up, we got Sam Mendes' new film, Empire of Light, that's premiering at the Toronto International Film Festival and hits theaters in December. It stars Olivia Colman, Michael Ward, and Toby Jones. And it seems to be a film about film. If I got that right. Yes, definitely a film about light, or I guess the capturing of light onto film. Gave me some Cinema Paradiso vibes. What did you make of the trailer, Lachlan?
I wouldn't say it's about cinema. I would say it's definitely one of the aspects to it, but I felt like it was more of a, I guess, psychological evaluation of Olivia Colman, like every single one of her roles.
How can she get another Oscar nomination?
Man,
she'll just get in. She's the new Meryl Streep. She'll just get in.
She is.
Yeah.
The relationship between, I guess, Olivia Colman's character and I believe it's Michael Ward's character. Obviously, there's some sort of relationship going on between the two. And then you have there, I guess, the world of cinema and how it can possibly bring people together. But no, it's Sam Mendes, and I'm pretty sure. Hang on, we got to fact check this really quickly.
Fact check real quick.
Doing a quick fact check here on the Quiet on Set podcast live. Just going to the IMDb page of this movie. Also, Colin Firth is in the movie as well, which is a very exciting thing because he's absolutely excellent. Just double checking. Yes, I did believe so. I had to double check because I wanted to make sure. Roger Deakins means this movie is going to look fucking spectacular visually. So no, I'm very, very excited for this, and it was a great trailer. By the way. With Toby Jones's like narration over the top, explaining a bunch of stuff, and it like I'm gonna say this for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trailers. I think this is the best lineup of trailers I've ever reviewed on the podcast. For the next 5.
Agreed.
I'm just gonna bring that up right now.
And especially in the cinematography,
5 of the best trailers I've seen.
And the pacing for it, not telling too much of the story, but it is that I guess more artsy. I guess it is. Feels like this season is a bit more of the like cinephile art house. Like we don't have a Scorsese that maybe would like blow some things away. Like there would be a lesser focus if what is it called? Flowers of the Killer. No, I'm getting the title. Killer Moon. Yeah, the new Scorsese film would be here. Or if we already got a trailer for Spielberg's new film as well, The Fabelmans, or maybe even I guess Damien Chazelle with his new film. But I mean, we still got like big directors here, but not something that you would kind of be a trademark for Spielberg to have like that Spielberg look, or Damien Chazelle's fluidity and stuff like that. Yeah, like you're not seeing that yet. So it's great to have like a range of really interesting trailers, and I'm keen for Empire of Light. Unfortunately, I won't be catching it because it's not premiering over at Venice. But the next film is Athena. I'm not entirely sure. It's a French film coming to Netflix on September 23rd. And gave me some modern Les Mis vibes. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like at some point they break out into song. But that whole trailer radiated so much like immediate energy that had to be released. And even though we didn't really get a feel of what the story is going to be like, it feels just like a big riot. It was super captivating from start to finish.
You talked about how the visuals in all these trailers were absolutely insane, but I have to say that the audio from this trailer, the whoos and the ha's in the background really brought that energy up. And it's a bit of a side story that I'm about to tell, but there was a few years ago I was at a I don't think it was the museum, but I'm pretty sure it was the art gallery, one of the two, and there was an exhibition on where they had 3 projectors, and it was set in Japan, so a little bit different, but
Yeah.
it was a riot. Well, not like a
Mm.
riot, but like a crowd yelling at police, dragging this person out, and it, in my opinion, was one of the most captivating things I've ever seen, and I've been waiting for something like that in cinema,
Mhm.
like an actual film that can do the same thing, and this is the closest thing I think I'm going to get to that.
Yeah.
It was so, again, no idea what the story is,
Mhm.
and it's the same with Empire of Light. Don't have a total understanding of the story, what the story is, but it has brought me to this point where I'm like, I need to know what this movie is.
Yeah.
I want to know what it is. I want to see it. I'm very excited to see it, and I think it's on Netflix as well. So
Yeah,
even
Netflix.
better.
Yeah, and I think story-wise, it is probably partly about police brutality because the younger sibling of the seemingly lead character was killed, I assume, by police. But I think it's definitely not going to be just that. It's definitely going to go beyond. I think French films, I've seen a couple of French films that have that like riot energy, and that just, the masses just have that uproar and want to do something against the state, in a sense. Like population versus police is something that I've seen in recent years quite a bit. But this one just kind of stood out with just the energy it had, and it looks great. Lachlan, let's move on to the next trailer, Tar, also premiering over at Venice, and it's one of the films that I already have a ticket secured for. It's a 3-hour-long pure art house film starring Kate Blanchett as a conductor. Yeah, Lachlan, what did you make of the trailer? We don't get much, right? It's really just so much about the visual storytelling that tells you, hey, this is something where we do something, and it's not just a linear plot that we can tell the story in a trailer, but it's more about the person itself. It's really a character study, and you get that immediate feeling right off the trailer, right?
You say it perfectly. It's pure art house.
Yeah.
It's all that trailer
Yep.
was. It was just
3-hour longs as well.
Complete right hook to what the other two trailers were, trying to actually probably tell a linear story. This was just Kate Blanchett, who is phenomenal, by the way. Obviously going to be going hard at this role. So and I've heard a lot of good things about Todd Field, the director of this film.
I haven't seen any of his other films yet, but he seemed like quite capable. Yeah,
and I was surprised it wasn't actually done by a French person. I thought it was going to be a French film, but like a French director. But no, it's an American doing art house. So again, visually stunning, very interesting concept that it's a musician who is writing this symphony, and I guess that 2 hours is going to be her writing the symphony and coming to it, and what that would do on a person. And again, I like films that study artistic creation, because it's I guess in the rest of the world, the office job world, art jobs aren't as considered stressful as you would consider like a office job. So I said that terribly. Just remember, I'm hungover, so my words aren't coming. Why say more words when less words do trick?
Yes. You can reverse
classic office saying.
Tar and say it's no, wait.
Rat?
You can just turn around Tar, and then it's rat. It's just like the T is very soft. It's I'm not gonna leave that in. That was so terrible.
No, I want you to keep going with this one. I want to see where it's going.
No. I'm just gonna keep in a bunch of static white noise, and that's the next one we'll talk
it's your
about.
favorite director, Noah Baumbach.
He actually is one of my favorite directors. I even got the audiobook for White Noise, and I made it about 5 minutes in. I don't know if I'll sneak it in because it's quite a long audio book. I don't know, I'm not too familiar with those, but trying to get that story in, because apparently this novel that he's adapting with White Noise is something that has famously been called like an unadaptable novel, and he's doing it. And it looks odd. I think we cleverly get just a few moments that show off a bit of the comedic energy that this movie is going, or the tonally what this movie is going to reside in, but not going for crazy. And I can just kind of see that Noah Baumbach is great at navigating that space. And at the center of it all, we got Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig in the leading roles, and another trailer that just from the editing and the cinematography alone, I know this is going to be hopefully one of my year's top ranking films, if the story can live up to that quality as well. But yeah, Lachlan, what did you make of White Noise?
Yeah, it was weird, but I liked it, and I like weird movies.
Yeah.
It was, in my opinion, weirder than Tar,
Yeah.
and Tar's trailer was
Agreed.
pretty weird.
Mm-hmm.
White Noise was just that little bit weirder. I didn't know about the book being unadaptable. Very interesting thing, and that gets me
Yeah.
quite curious on how this film will turn out.
Yeah. Anyways, White Noise will be playing, is the opening film in Venice, and will be playing at the BFI London Film Festival and the New York Film Festival. If that's somewhere close to you, maybe worth checking out. But just noting here that in Venice, that's the first one. That's the one I'm going to, and I also got a ticket. I'm quite excited for that. That's the two films that
I want to let everyone know as well.
Yes.
That I'm not going to Venice.
Yeah. And I wanted to let everyone know that I am going.
The main reason is obviously flights out of Australia
Yes.
are the most expensive thing. It would be cheaper for me to build a boat and like I'm talking like a pirate ship sized boat and sail.
Yeah.
That's how much cheaper it is.
Yeah, you couldn't make it this time. I mean, for me, it was also very last minute that I did go, that I did get in. I actually was accredited, and it is so crazy expensive to find a place, especially last minute, because they crank those prices up right as the festival happens. But I did manage to get a place really close to the theaters, so hopefully I'll get to do a bunch of coverage there. So again, quick shout out to my own things. Place it in here. But there's another film that's also playing in Venice that I didn't get a ticket for. Maybe I will, but it kind of already sold out when I got to it. And that's for Living. That's the UK remake of Akira Kurosawa's Ikiru, which, if you have seen our recent 4 favorites episode, that was one of my 4 favorites. The Japanese original version, that is, and I'm quite skeptical towards Living, because I don't think that brilliant masterpiece needs to be remade. But it stars Bill Nye and is releasing on Christmas, and premiered already at Sundance. Didn't get like a huge hype or a lot of coverage, and is now playing in Venice and TIFF. So, Lachlan, what did you make of Living?
Well, I've seen neither Living or Ikiru. What is it? Ikiru? Ikiru. I've seen neither.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll like Living more than I like the original. Because I'm gonna watch it in that order just to piss you off.
Yeah, you're one of those people who's like, yeah, the Karate Kid, right? Do you like Karate Kid with Jaden Smith? Yeah.
I love the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
I love the remake of Old Boy. I am a massive fan of what? What's so funny?
No, nothing. Yeah.
I am.
Mm-hmm. I love the new Lion King. It's amazing.
Yeah, that.
Or the 17
excellent.
Pinocchio films coming out in 2022. They look great too. But yeah, actually, I wasn't meant to do this tie over, but that ties us over to the next trailer, which is for Pinocchio from Robert Zemeckis over on Disney Plus. It's coming to Disney Plus quite soon on the Disney Plus Day. Get excited, kids! On September 8th.
Wow, Disney
and
Plus Day.
Stars Tom Hanks. And yeah, Lachlan, I want to get your thoughts first before I drift into a monologue again. What did you make of this first real trailer for Pinocchio?
Okay. This is where the trailer started going downhill. I didn't think the trailer was terrible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it definitely went downhill much faster than Living. Living wasn't too bad, but
No.
Living wasn't as good as the rest of them. But Pinocchio was a massive drop in quality.
Yeah.
Fucking cowards for not using a real puppet. Cowards.
Yeah, cowards. It's also funny to me that all of the character designs seemed like they were dragging different just items. The way that the fur creatures looked was so photoreal, but then Pinocchio is really cartoony, and then the cricket is like a blend between the two, so it's not super realistic, but it's way different than the furry creatures. So it was like
the fish
all of
super unrealistic. Yeah.
Yeah, the fish was the worst. No, and the
The
Tom
fish was
Hanks.
terrible.
Ah, Tom Hanks. I thought he had COVID.
Terrible
Why
CGI.
does he? I thought he had still COVID. What's this?
I
thought he was going
fat.
to be played by his son Chet Hanks, and see still him in the film. I thought that this Geppetto is going to be Jamaican and it's going to be played by Chet Hanks. To me, it was just a bit of a mess. This trailer, and I think Robert Zemeckis really thrives in that just crazy visual, just throw everything onto the wall and see what sticks, and it's just goofy and whatever, and it didn't work for me at all in this trailer. So yeah, we'll see.
Also, that whale, I know
whale.
the whale has to be like huge, because
Yeah.
eventually they're going inside the whale, but that whale was the fucking Kraken, dude. That was a
Big old
big
whale.
whale.
Yeah, it was a big old
I
whale.
don't know, like, that's a big old whale. I just want
Mm.
to point out, because I just saw that video of that whale. I don't know if you saw that, but the killer whale.
Right.
The,
Yeah.
the black and white ones.
Yeah, black white.
The zebras of the sea. I just saw a picture
Yeah.
of that whale like coming out of the water,
Mm.
and it was a male whale, and you can see where I'm going with this one.
Mm.
Hopefully, we'll get the same shot in Pinocchio and see if it's a male whale.
We'll just have to catch him lying. That whale.
I mean, it's a sperm whale, right?
The sperm whale. I love how we went from Disney to sperm whales real quick. The connection
We
is
went
there.
there really quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't have to wait for it too much longer. We'll share some thoughts. I'll probably have a review out for that, a separate one. Yeah, while I'm in Venice, because I think I do have screeners for it. Yeah, so I'll be catching that. But because we are off 2 weeks, you'll have to decide for yourselves if you want to check out Pinocchio on September 8th.
Oh my god, today is David Fincher's birthday.
It is. How old is he? Wait, let's guess.
He's 60.
I would have guessed 57. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, you probably going to guess 52, and
No.
then I said 60, and you increased your
I
number.
was
'cause you're a
no.
dirty
I was
little
about
cheat.
to say.
Okay,
I've never
fine
cheated
then.
before.
How about Jack Black? It's also Jack Black's birthday.
Jack Black is 57. I'm gonna stick with my number.
He's 53. Yeah,
He's younger. Okay.
oh, and it's Armie Hammer's birthday as well. He's cancelled.
Yeah. To me, it's really, this is off topic, but it's also playing at Venice. So it's kind of a tying. But it's really funny to me that the next film that Luca Guadagnino is doing with Timothée Chalamet, where they're like not considering to do a Call Me by Your Name sequel because of canceled Armie Hammer, is a film about cannibals, and it's kind of funny with those like
Nice.
allegations that have come forward that he's
Yeah.
maybe
That's
kind of
funny.
into that, but yeah. Anyways, we got a new A24 film, so I'm always keen, and that's for The Inspection. That's kind of still a film that's in the fall festival, but then I realized that just about a couple of minutes ago. It's playing at TIFF and at the New York Film Festival, and comes out in regular theaters for us plebs on November 18th. And is about a gay Marine and some army stuff, and maybe some racist class struggle and the queer experience. That's just what I got from it, but it had that really strong, just like army strong. I need to have purpose, so I go to the army, which is like a huge turnoff for me for a film, just because I'm, not all about that, really anti-army and military stuff. But yeah, this is apparently based on true events of the director himself. He's 43, so yeah, about his struggle, probably as the Iraq-Afghanistan war stuff was happening, I assume. But yeah, this left me a bit perplexed, because I usually like A24, and here I thought it seems a bit like generic of a story. And not really for me, although it's A24, so I'm super conflicted. Lachlan, what did you make of the trailer?
Yeah, this trailer was fucking trash. Just not a very good trailer. Wasn't really well put together. Couldn't really tell what story it was trying to go for. I mean, I did, but it just seemed a bit mixed matched and all over the place.
Yeah.
It's A24 though. Hopefully it's just, a bad trailer. Not everyone can have a good trailer, but, I'm very interested in psychological evaluations of people, and going through boot camp is extremely rough. we know that from a number of different movies in the past, but also just in real life, we know that there's suicide rates that are massively high, and
Yeah.
especially mixing that with queer acceptance in the army,
Mhm.
especially at a time that obviously I believe this is set a couple years back when it wasn't so accepted.
Yeah.
Is quite an interesting story. So, and based on true events,
Yeah,
that's
that's
life.
what I
Wow.
found interesting, because I mean we have come we have made progress for LGBTQ acceptance, and going beyond tolerance in most, like, there's still bigotry and all of that in those institutions that's kind of ingrained there, and certain communities that kind of lack with, making that progress. But with him being 43 and this being autobiographical, I, like I don't know, like, where the huge issue lies. In the synopsis, it also says that his mother is homophobic and kicks him out because he's gay, and I didn't get that vibe at all from the trailer, because she just says, like, oh yeah, you're gay going to the army, or like, you're so obviously gay. And I thought that was just her making a comment, but apparently that's, like, there's some tension there, and I didn't feel that tension. So I don't know. I would love to believe that there's a great story underneath, but to me this is like something that we've done so many times before, where it's like this portraying like queer experience as this tragedy. And I think it's almost like baiting for a response, because, like, you don't need, this is a controversial topic, but you don't need to always have like, this is the same with like the slavery thing, making slavery films that is then appealing to, like, I don't know, what this, gotta reiterate that, to like the more art house I guess film goers, or like the academy, because it feels like it's saying something. But just making movies, it doesn't always need to be a statement and, like, this tragic bait. And there's a couple more films coming up this year. I think there's one called Till that also feels like that. But with it being A24, they'll hopefully have a bit of more control on that it's more in a character piece, and then it doesn't matter if it's, like, the character is interesting enough. And then Lachlan, lastly, let's look at another Netflix film, and that is for Slumberland, with Jason Momoa, and comes from the Hunger Games and I Am Legend director Francis Lawrence, and it's based on the novel Little Nemo in Slumberland by Winsor McKay, and it's coming to Netflix November 18th. Really sweet little story that obviously reminds a bit of Alice in Wonderland, that type of fantasy stuff, the dreaming. Immediately made me want to jump back into the Sandman. I don't know, for some reason I got that vibe as well. An alternate version of Morpheus. But what did you make of Slumberland?
Cringy, boring, and I know it's not for me. So I have no opinion that's positive for Slumberland. It can just move on.
Oh my god. Yeah, I thought that this was more of like a darker tale, because I didn't know what the original story was. But it seems like it's more of a towing that line of being a kids movie, but also introducing, just having a like darker color scale, just dimming it down a bit, and just everything is kind of a bit more gloomy. But other than that, a really uplifting, energetic story. So it's less for me as well. I agree. But we just get probably 2 hours of an charismatic Jason Momoa at the center of it all. But that's that, coming to Netflix on November 18th. And let's move on to what we've been watching. Lachlan, you want to kick it off with what you've been watching?
I haven't watched much, if I'm totally honest with you. Not because I've been hungover every day, just that I've been a busy bee, and I didn't want to watch anything this week. Kind of odd, if for me. It's just one of those moods. But I did watch the first episode of a docu-series on Disney Plus called Light and Magic.
Yeah.
Ewan, have you seen it?
No, but I've heard some great things about it, and I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. Is it
Oh.
worth checking out?
This is
Can you recommend it?
Oh fuck! This is a first. No, hang on.
not a
Can I
first,
soak
it's
this in a
happened a
little bit?
couple of
Usually
times before.
you see everything, and I have to be
Yeah.
like, oh yes, what are your thoughts? Now I
Mhm.
get to have the stage. This is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good
Yeah.
so far. I mean, I've only watched the first episode, and that is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
To say that it's the best thing I've seen in a long time. Better
Yeah.
than Dune. Better than the best movie of the year so far, which is
Really?
something I can't think of it off the top of my head. No, I'm fucking with you. It's not the best.
Okay. Well,
it's just an
because I've
excellent
heard
series.
raving reviews for it, actually praising it in that
no,
high
it's
regard.
quite good.
Yeah.
It's very good, and
Yeah.
I think it's really well made. And as someone who's quite interested in the creation of movies,
Mm.
man, I had a great time with that first episode. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
continue watching. But I just wanted to say I've been playing video games.
Mm.
I'm naughty. I know it's a
What?
movie podcast, but I
Ah.
play video games.
It's okay. It's close enough.
And
She's like your third cousin. You know, it's okay.
I played for the first time ever. Finished it. The Batman Arkham Asylum game.
Arkham Asylum.
And
Yeah.
Batman Arkham City is where I'm at now. I'm
Mhm.
playing through all of them and plan on going through. But I also watched the Batman because of it.
Mhm.
Rewatched the Batman, and it is an excellent film as well.
Yeah.
So I've got Batman on my brain. I don't know why.
Batman
I'm probably
on
not going to
your
go
brain.
back and watch The Dark Knight, but
Yeah.
I'm playing the Batman Arkham games, and they're really, really, really fun. And I just wanted to take this moment to express my love for voice actors, because I feel like they don't get a lot of love.
Yeah.
Voice actors are fucking spectacular. They do an incredible job. Oh fuck, his name's now gone from me. Who does the Joker?
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Mhm.
He is excellent with it, and
Yeah.
whoever voices Bruce Wayne as well does an excellent
Oh, you
job.
mean in the Arkham games? I don't know if he voices him in the Arkham games specifically. I'd have to check
No, I
that.
thought it was Mark Hamill. Fact check.
Fact check, quick fact check. Yeah, no, you are right. He voices the Joker and Scarface. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm only about 10 or 8 to 10 hours into Arkham Asylum, and I'm quite a slow gamer, so I haven't even finished that one. But I like I do. Maybe the new listeners or viewers don't know that, but I own a ton of games that I don't get around to playing.
He never plays.
Still, well, I want to play that new Played Up game, that Overcooked thing. That looks really fun. I'll get around to it at some point. So will you be continuing on with the rest of the games, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've recently just started. I'm probably only about 3 to 4 hours into Arkham City, and I'm enjoying it there. But this one's a little bit more open, so there's more time. The Arkham Asylum game is quite small and
linear.
is pretty linear.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy that. And the Arkham City game is a bit more open, and I'm pretty sure Arkham Knight is the last one, and that's very open.
Mhm.
And I did play a little bit of that game a while ago, Arkham Knight, but I never finished it. So I wanted to go back and replay the first 2 games, which I never did before.
Mhm.
And that's why I bought an Xbox controller. Look at me. I'm a real gamer now. Because I was using a PlayStation controller on my PC.
Okay.
And that's disgusting. I'm a
yeah.
pathetic human being who's hungover and is showing off an Xbox controller.
But you do own a PS5, so you're superior to half of the population.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do have a PS5.
Yeah, I do not. For example, I do not.
I won't go get it. You don't have a PS5.
You put it onto your stand, and it's just like, that would be sad if
Put it on the fucking...
Then I'll quickly go over the stuff that I've been watching. For some of these, working on reviews, short reviews that will come out on the Young Graph podcast. So I'll keep it short, but I never know if I do get to them. So they do get dimension here. But there's 2 films that I didn't rewatch, but that are out now. George Miller's 3,000 Years of Longing. That's a really weird film that is the first film he did since his take on Mad Max Fury Road, and is with Idris Elba as a Jinn and Tilda Swinton, and it's basically just a bunch of anecdotal flashbacks, and it's odd in the way that it comes together, because it goes all over the place tonally in the third act, and I was not super on board with it. but I think it's going to be definitely quite controversial when people get to see it. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are absolutely going to hate it, and others are going to praise it for just how weird it is. And then the other film I caught early this year at Sundance, it was called 928, I think, if I believe, something like that. It's now been renamed to Breaking. It stars John Boyega and the late Michael K. Williams. And it's a story about a war veteran who struggles with the healthcare. And it's definitely a political movie. But it doesn't focus its whole thing onto that, but it's really just a great showcase for John Boyega's incredible acting talents, and gets the recommendation from me. And then a few films I caught up with that are new releases. I watched the new A24 film Funny Pages, Missed It in Gun. It's now out on VOD. It's a really weird movie, but I think it's worth checking out. It gives off a bit of Uncut Gems energy. Then I watched Samaritan, the Sylvester Stallone and Ashtray from Euphoria led superhero film that was just, it was terrible. I didn't expect something great, but Amazon Prime has been on a run. Prime Video with The Boys and Invincible. Man, they've lost it. This was really bad. Then also called Beast, another film with Idris Elba, too, this week, about, I guess, a family going to South Africa and then being chased by a lion. And it's, a pretty good survival flick. Nothing great. It kind of flopped at the box office, but Idris Elba is quite solid in it. Then Me Time over on Netflix with Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart is the unfunniest film I've seen this year. It's so horrible. And then lastly, I saw I Love My Dad, Patton Oswalt as he's catfishing his own son. That's the premise is enough, and it's an interesting film. It's a bit cheesy. Doesn't work the whole way through, but solid mid recommendation for that film. And then lastly, I caught Brother Bear, which was a delight. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. The memes were big with the elks. Like I spot a thing that you don't see. Whatever, that was a big thing. It's really a light breeze is over before you know it, and yeah, pretty sweet. Disney animation classic from the early 2000s, and I think was one of the last ones that was before like CG animation really took over. But that's all I've been watching, Lachlan.
Cool. That's it.
So our main topic of the week is the new Pixar film Lightyear that we didn't cover when it was out in theaters, but now that it's been streaming also for a while, we thought that before we or I take off to go over to the Venice Film Festival, and we won't be here for the next 2 weeks, we'll take a look at that film that we missed earlier this year. And Lightyear is about the legendary space ranger Buzz Lightyear as he embarks on an intergalactic adventure alongside a group of ambitious recruits and his robot companion Socks. It comes from Angus MacLean, who previously was a co-director on Finding Dory. He has worked with the director of WALL-E and Finding Nemo and Finding Dory before, and he did one of the shorts for WALL-E, Burn E, that is quite charming as well. Lightyear hasn't been received too positively, especially really low for a Pixar film. It's a 3.1 on Letterboxd, a 5.8 on IMDb, and only a 60 on Metacritic. It comes in at 105 minutes long and had a budget of about 200 million, and it only grossed 218 million total. That's domestically and internationally. So quite a bit of a flop for Disney that Disney and Pixar that had the last 3 Pixar productions on Disney Plus as an exclusive without a surcharge. So Lachlan, before we get into spoilers for Lightyear, do you think that Disney has harmed the Pixar brand with basically making this a commodity that is free on Disney Plus? Not this one, I guess, but the previous ones.
I don't know, if I'm totally honest with you. I feel like it hasn't killed Pixar's box office.
Yeah.
I just don't think that we're still at a point where people want to go and take their kids to the movies anymore.
Really, I don't know. There's still like success for like the Croods, even in 2020 when cinemas opened back up. That was a long running success, and it made a lot of money. And then Sing 2. Wait, no, when did Sing 2 come out? That was also recent, right? There were a couple movies that like were family focused that did quite well. DC Leagues of Super Pets, which is a recent one, didn't do
did
too
they
hot.
But did they go to streaming then?
No,
I don't think people
yeah.
want to take their kids to a cinema when they know they can go watch that movie on their iPad in like 4 months.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, the immediacy isn't there for family films, because
I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. It's kind of like
that's fair.
people
So
don't want to take their kids to the cinema, go for that entire thing, for them just to be like, oh, it's come out on Disney Plus and you can watch on your iPad in 2 weeks.
But that's also because these new films are directly available. I don't know. There's definitely not a correct direct correlation, and I guess it's more opinion based. But I guess you think it's more about like not wanting to go to the theater when you know something's coming out soon. Yeah, I don't know.
don't think this movie had an excellent
Marketing, right?
Marketing.
Yes.
There was like nothing on this film.
Well, it also goes into the premise. Like, what are you? Does this actually make sense to have this Toy Story connective tissue that's kind of a prequel, kind of a spin-off, kind of in the same universe, but also not really? It gets really confusing what this movie is actually based on. If it's like about the action figure,
movie,
it's
the
convoluted.
movie is the movie that the action figure is based off of in that universe.
And that's weird, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I don't know if we
Pretty
need
meta.
it.
It's the only good way of telling a Lightyear story. I don't think they could have done like a spin-off like Toy Story, because then you're just really beating a dead horse on that particular character.
Illumination.
And you will have to get back,
point.
obviously, the original. Yeah, it's a good point. You have to bring back the original voice actor and everything. Where with this one, they went, okay, cool. So let's not do a spin-off. Let's build on who Buzz Lightyear is and what he's based on and why he's like that. And it kind of makes sense. Like, the actual character makes sense that's the movie.
Yeah.
It would have been kind of funny to have because obviously we're watching a movie of a movie. Imagine how meta we could get with that.
It gets crazy meta. Like, Toy Story has been able to be that franchise that you also grow up with. And I think that Lightyear here is skewing again for a bit of a younger audience, because I think its central theme is like, you got to work together, not alone. And that's kind of all it does, at least on the character basis for Buzz Lightyear. But it never goes beyond that. It just like repeats that over and over and over and over and over again. And it got like super repetitive that by the time this movie ended, I was like, oh, this movie ended, and I forgot pretty much all that happened in it. I think it was so there was not a lot of character from that. It just had that like pretty interchangeable. Obviously, it had the Pixar look of how they did design. Like the lighting and whatever is really high quality, what you expect from Disney and Pixar, but I didn't connect with a single character. It was really bland to me, which is not so, like, even something that I'm not like over the moon for Turning Red or Luca or whatever. I at least connected with the characters a bit more. Here I really got nothing. Did you get anything out of
I think
Lightyear?
it's because you met those characters from start to finish with those other films, especially. It's very jarring, and the easiest way to explain it is I think there's 3 different films that they're trying to go for in this. It's the original first, like, landing on that planet, like, oh, they're going to shoot back home, and then it's, nope, they're stranded. And it's like, right, okay. So it's not like we're already in this world. We're already set up. There's no re-establishing Buzz Lightyear. You just kind of assume you know who he is. And they're on this planet. Planet's attacked by vines. Okay, cool. This is going to be the film where it's a big opening, and then it stops, and it becomes this film about trying to get off this planet. So now it's like a castaway. They're marooned on this planet. They want to get off. Marooned?
Yeah.
They're stranded on the planet, and they're trying to get off. And then all of a sudden it turns into these 2 characters. No, it's not these 2 characters. This character is now going to age very rapidly as they try to get off the planet. and
Yeah.
it becomes that. And that is the first 30 minutes to 45 minutes of this film, pretty much.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, that character dies. Okay, so it's just Buzz. That's the only person we're attached to. And
Yeah.
we meet this brand new set of characters, and it reestablishes this whole new set of characters
Mm.
halfway through the film.
Yeah.
And that's quite jarring.
The Baymax thing of like, I don't know if it's Baymax, but it's just like, you know, an onslaught, just a group of new characters that are basically mainly comedic relief. And we didn't really get that, I guess, in the start, because it could be a bit more of a serious film, of them being stranded, like him going on his mission and then losing his space exploration partner, and yeah, it was that could have been the core of the story and could have been really interesting, but at least like then we got a couple different things, and it just becomes about time as well, but it like time is always something that you can do a lot with in the impact of time, and I think they just kind of breeze past that, and it's more about his drive to like even exploring that character a bit more of like why he really wants to save them. And by the time we get that face off with the villain, there's not much there that makes me care of how like which way he swings, because I don't think at the core of this like leading character that we followed for the whole time, I didn't really get his motivation other than he's this stoic hero character that wants to save everyone. The nuance was a bit lacking, I think, from his character.
I don't want to burn this film for being bad, because I think, unfortunately, it does suffer from a terrible story, and you can't really recover from that if that's the foundation of the film. But I have to say, the animation is spectacular. Like, they just keep improving this freaking medium.
I mean, it does look stunning. Yeah. I don't know if anything else to say. It looks
You don't
great.
like it?
I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like obviously they improve certain things. To me, the best looking Pixar film of recent memory has been Soul, and nothing has topped that since that came out, at least to me. But this also looks great. I think that Toy Story 4 looks better than this. But I mean,
Oh,
it's
wow.
also space exploration. So you can do a bunch of like galactic shots and whatever. And what do you get in Toy Story 4? Maybe a
Man, I thought
sunset
the
from like
light speed,
the light
the
speed
light
stuff.
speed scene was gorgeous.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like visual stuff that works quite great, but I don't know. You were saying it. You didn't want to fault it too much for, I guess, the lacking story quality when it got like stunning visuals. I just also thought that was a bit bland. I don't know. It didn't evoke any emotion out of me. Obviously, I can see that it's like that it looks expensive. It's like an expensive car, but I don't really care to look at that Lambo of animation. I just don't really care for it. So
Okay.
yeah. But that's coming from the guy who likes the rotoscoped look, and even if something's more like 12 frames a second hand animated, I like that like subtle stuff. But that's just the art house snob in me. So I maybe that's my fault. But I think it yeah, I mean, it looked great. It looked great on my TV at home as well. You know, even though it's no Apple TV, it doesn't look that great. But not a lot of people saw this in theaters. So
No,
I don't know.
I watched it on my iPhone.
Yeah, I watched it on my Mickey Mouse flip phone.
Yeah, nice.
You can't not support the big Mickey D.
Is it Mickey D McDonald's in America? Don't they call
Oh
them
yeah,
Mickey
it is
D's?
Mickey D's. Yeah, no, I totally other franchise. Yeah, no, I was thinking about Mickey Disney, which is not his name.
Nope,
No, but look,
is not.
you were mentioning voice casts and I guess voice actors before when we are talking about what we've been watching when you were playing the Batman. I think this is an interesting discussion point for especially, I guess, animation in the US, because what they tend to do is just grab on-screen actors and make them voice actors. And not everyone is great at it, or even if they are great at it, there's professionals that do voice acting. So maybe you can't take away the marketing aspect of like saying, hey, it's Chris Evans who's in your movie. But do you think these movies would also work better? This is not a critique for specifically Pixar, but just like an overall thing as well. Do you think it would work better if we gave more of those roles to actors who are specifically voice actors?
Yes and no, because I do think there are plenty of actors who are quite versatile and they can do both.
Yes.
They're like, you know what? Tom Hanks does a great job, even though he's definitely more of an actor than a voice actor, but he does an excellent job.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for a lot of people who are voice acting.
Chris Pratt.
The previous, okay. Moving on. I was going to say DC Pet of Heroes of Pets, or whatever the fuck that movie's called.
Yeah,
It's probably
Dwayne
a terrible
Johnson,
example.
Kevin Hart.
Because it's literally just actors using their voice, and there is a whole side of it that they don't go into. You can have that. And there are definitely people who I think work. I think Keke Palmer does do a great job. I think
Agreed.
out of all of the characters, Izzy was probably my favorite.
Yes.
But I don't enjoy Taika Waititi's side character at all.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
I just
agreed.
find it quite... Like, he's just in there for the fact that, oh, it's Taika Waititi. That's quite funny. Let him say some funny lines or animate around it. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just, unfortunately, not... and the person who voiced Socks, the cat, does a great job as well.
Yeah.
I think it has that really good tone.
Mhm.
And Chris Evans, in all honesty, does a great job as Buzz Lightyear, but I feel like there's a lot of side characters who were just big name actors thrown in there because they are big name actors. But for the most part, Chris Evans does a great job as Buzz, but I think the standout performance is Keke Palmer.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that the voice actor you named for Socks, Peter Son, is also someone who's worked with Pixar before, and he is, I think, mainly a voice actor. And we also got Josh Brolin as Zurg, or I guess the older Buzz, and I think he also kind of works because he's just that deep voice guy, and you can have that like voice cast presence of just being the deep voice guy, and he's the deep voice guy, and he does that quite well. I mean, basically what he does in the Avengers films is that. I mean, it's a motion captured performance, but I guess it goes a bit more beyond that because it is captured, but still it is playing with your voice a lot. So I think he has a lot of great experience with it. I think he also works in it, although he doesn't, I guess, get to say much. He's not really a big part of the film, and Keke Palmer really works great. I think she's someone who's really versatile in doing a lot of things. I mean, she was definitely a standout and highlight in Nope as well. So I'm keen to see what she is in store next. So, you know, no, I've been saying a bunch of stuff that I didn't like about this film. It didn't really strike me as being super great. But do you have a favorite moment? Something funny, something
I have a
great.
couple. If you're happy for me to go through a few.
What care to share?
There is the bung up robot that follows through to the just right to the end. The one that got its arm ripped off, shot with paint, spear to the head. Quite funny. I thought the spear to the head was going to make it come and be like a good robot, but either way, it's quite a funny little side one. For me, I think the funniest line in the entire film is when Socks shoots I think it's the security guard, literally looks and just goes, "I bought you 5 minutes."
Yeah.
In the most, this cat has done some really dodgy shit in the past, but like the way that the line is delivered and what he does so surprisingly, and just like, "I bought you 5 minutes." It was really well done, and it made me audibly laugh. The second time around didn't do it as much, but the first time was really well executed.
Yeah, that's
the eyes,
I think
man,
the
it's all in the
forced
eyes.
thing in Disney that you at least have to do something twice, otherwise maybe people. It's like Bo Burnham doing repeat stuff, and that's for the Disney things. When they got a good thing, they kind of have to repeat it. But that first moment is really funny. Something that made me really laugh was when Buzz tries to explain the like obviously the to infinity and beyond thing was a bit like, oh, okay, that's a thing that we know. But when they used it and it kind of doesn't land with her, and he goes, "Oh yeah, it's the finger thing is something your grandma and I used to do," and they're all like, "Oh, yuck, gross." Like in that sense, the response that was kind of funny. And then I think like the whole side crew of people when they get introduced, and like for the rest of the film, I'm not really the biggest fan of them. But that robot going like, "Okay, I can show you the way," and then he just goes, and you're like, "Oh," and then he just goes, "Oh no, that's wrong." I found that funny as well.
Wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, lighthearted, really fun moment.
And then he never comes back. They literally leave the robot doing that for the rest of the
yes, yeah, it's disappointing. He was really funny.
film.
But yeah. To me, the worst moment was that sandwich thing. That was just vile. To have like the meat outside. It was just
I tried
so
it. It's
sloppy.
not that
You
good.
tried it? The commitment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commitment. It wasn't that good. And
No.
the stickiness is the worst part about it. At least the bread keeps your fingers
Yes.
dry.
Keeps you sane.
I tried different variations. I tried doing 2 layers of cheese on the outside. Cheese also doesn't work. I did it with lettuce. That's like another way you can do like
That's the Californian way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Doesn't really work that well. The meat is not the best thing to have on the outside.
Yeah.
Then it's not technically a sandwich because I think I got into an argument not with you but someone else about the definition of a sandwich. Like, is it like a 2 pieces of bread or
I've
like
brought it up before
what's the
as
difference
well.
between a hot dog and
Yeah.
a sandwich? Like, what's the anyway?
Mhm.
I don't want to turn this podcast into a sandwich.
It's gonna be a fight.
That'd be a great podcast.
That would be a
Sandwich
great
podcast.
And it's just like each week you go over a new item. It's just like the title of the thing is just like a hot dog, and then like
Hot
different
dog.
styles, and then you talk about that. Is it
Um,
it's called is it a sandwich? It's just a podcast. Someone should do that if that's not already the thing. That would actually be a great bit.
Actually, great idea.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying
yeah,
something.
no. I guess bringing us to the end, it's kind of
Yeah.
like the fucking reveal that Zurg is
Dun dun dun. Yes.
I am your father,
I
Dad.
yes.
That was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that'd be funny. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but hey, there you go. I thought Zurg was going to be a lot cooler because I thought Zurg is low key one of my like favorite Toy Story characters because it's so like the whole "you killed my father, no Buzz, I am your father."
Yeah.
No meme is like one of my favorite memes from Toy Story,
Yeah.
and I thought they would go into it. It's like, hey, look, you know, it could have been his dad that was like looking for him, but his dad's gone like crazy or something from like the alien technology or whatever. But anyway,
Yeah.
it was a weird reveal / twist, but you know, it was interesting. I didn't totally hate the whole thing, but you know what? No, I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't.
What is it better than the interstellar twist of like everything in the universe is connected to love?
Yes, it is worse than that.
Yeah, agreed. Because I think it introduces a bunch of new concepts right at this like at the end, and it like fortunately doesn't go into like a big monologue explaining it all. They do it briefly, but like they don't overly focus on it. But still, there's then also they don't do that. They don't do the explanation, but they also don't really do the character stuff other than, well, he's just the bad guy because he's the bad guy. But it's not like about why Buzz became that way when he's older and he's like in a different timeline and he's still on that path of like it's only me. Like the whole plot line of it should have been a bigger focus on I want to be alone because I'm the best and I just want to do it because I want to do it. And it should have come from a place where he's this really selfish person that isn't selfish by the end. You don't have to like be so like overtly about that. Like if you wanted to, if that's like a concern that they had, but the movie is so much about that, and then by the end it doesn't feel like it's that much about it. Maybe it still is, but to me, like between the two Buzzes, there wasn't that connection there. It was more tied to, I guess, the other people that he then sees. That's why he doesn't want to get rid of them, because they also have lives. But that also didn't resonate with me. I think it just was really underdeveloped and a bit of a lackluster finale. And yeah, I don't know. Makes me question if Pixar shouldn't do any prequels, sequels, sidequels, requels of this stuff anymore. Like, they're really good with original stuff, so why do you need to tag on to it? It's not like people won't go see new stuff. It's if it's the Good Dinosaur, then people might be turned off, but Soul did well. Turning Red was a really critical darling, and audiences really loved it as well. So, maybe ease it on the sequel stuff. But yeah, Lachlan, we only got one upcoming Pixar film that's slated for June 16th, 2023, called Elemental. It's about a bunch of, I guess, elements in a city where fire, water, land, and ice and air residents live together. A young woman and a go-with-the-flow guy are about to discover something elemental, how much they actually have in common. So, Pixar really likes to, I guess, take a thing like souls, like the inside of someone's emotion, and then visualize them. And I think that's what they're really great at. They're also great with those smaller stories, like Ratatouille or Wall-E or Finding Dory, that have a simple plot and are character driven, and not just like from the idea point of like, hey, that's cool to visualize that aspect. Seems like it's going more into that direction of visualizing the Cocos, the flow, the Coco, the soul like type of film that's going to be. So that's promising. I think that could be quite fun. Yeah, Lachlan, do you think Pixar is gonna be on an upswing again, or are we not gonna see them in theaters as much?
Hopefully they can do something original, a bit more original than just inanimate objects with emotions, because it's either that or a shitty spin-off, or it's something, I don't know. They're not the same company they used to be. Maybe it's just that I'm older and grumpier and hungover.
Yeah,
it could be that.
Yeah, it could be that. I mean, it could always tie back to that. I think that's also why you grow out of phases. Like I was a bigger fan of the MCU, and then I kind of you grow past it, and you're like, okay, this is an end of an era. I'm more into this now, and that's totally fine. And I think that's always something that hopefully we do well in our discussions to like highlight. This is definitely like our point of view that doesn't invalidate someone who's like a big fan of something. Like hopefully we don't take the joy out of anyone's experience with film, because yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the way of someone getting into film at all. That's an off-topic conversation that I'm now thinking about. But luckily, let's get to our ratings for Lightyear.
Give it a... Oh, God. People are gonna hate me. People are really gonna hate me. 2.
You gave it a 2 out of 5. Interesting. You're even lower than me on this one, because I am at a 2.5 out of 5 stars for Lightyear. I mean, it definitely wouldn't have made it onto our Pixar bracket that we did recently for episode 100, right? Definitely wouldn't have made the cut there. But yeah, go check that out if you haven't already. Really fun video there. And yeah, that wraps it up for Lightyear. Lachlan, do you have a pick of the week?
We're doing space movies.
Yes, space movies.
So my suggestion is actually a really good one, funnily enough. Movies in space. Buzz is in space.
Yes.
So my movies are going to be a space movie. In this movie, there's 2 Buzz Lightyears. In this movie, there's 2 of the same, or 2 and more of the same character, and also semi kind of stranded on a planet. Well, not really a planet as much. My pick of the week is Moon with Sam Rockwell.
Right. Oh, great pick. Another visually stunning film.
If you want to watch a fun little movie, it's only a short movie, about an hour and a half long, and you like Sam Rockwell, then you should watch Moon. That's my pick of the week.
Yes, and if you want to mortally question your existence, then go with my pick, going with the good old Kubrick classic 2001: A Space Odyssey. I know a lot of people have probably already caught this one and watched it before, but if you haven't already, this is your wake-up call. Catch up on that. It's a great film. Gets the recommendation from both of us. But that wraps it up for this week's show. Next week and the week after, we are off, or I guess we're both off, but I'm off to a different place, and we'll be back on September 16th, and we'll talk about my experience at the Venice Film Festival. And then on Monday, September 19th, we'll be back with a yet to be determined film, but it will most likely be The Woman King or Don't Worry Darling, or some other film that we deem noteworthy of that time. And then we'll also do a bit on Andor once that releases on September 23rd, if I'm correct. But if you want to be up to date with all the films over at Venice, like White Noise, Tar, there will be Don't Worry Darling, I'll have a review for that movie early. All of those films that are premiering over at Venice, I'll try to catch and have a review out even before the festival is wrapped, and even on TikTok. I plan, hopefully, I get to do that, to do like a quick reaction right after I see the film. So if you want my immediate thoughts and reviews on all of those fall film festival films, that's so many F's in there, then go on and check out the TikTok and my YouTube channel to be up to date with that. You can also follow Lachlan on his socials. Those are linked below, and a link tree for the Quiet on Set podcast will take you to all of those things that I just mentioned. We also got a Letterboxd HQ account. If you're listening on YouTube and watching on YouTube, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel. Quiet on Set is powered by Cineman and hosted by myself, Ewan Graf, and the very hungover Lachlan Thiele. And we'll see you soon. We'll be back in September.
Bye.
Bye.